Hi guys, I'm Jamie of LondonBLUE Studios. Thanks for joining me here on Kingdom Keys. So today we're going to be talking about Epcot, which I'm really excited about. Epcot was the second of the 4 current theme parks at the Walt Disney World Resort. It was opened in 1982 and it opened as Epcot Center. After a few years, they dropped Center, so now it is officially Epcot. I heard a few years ago that they were going to officially re-add Center to the title, but I haven't seen that happen, so it's still Epcot. It stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. Pretty interesting, right? Well, what's more interesting is that Walt Disney actually purchased all of the land in Central Florida for this project. The whole 42 square mile piece of land out there was supposed to encompass this thing called Epcot, or the Florida Project, it's also known as. Now, his idea was that he was going to build a place for people to live, work, and play. So it wasn't really going to be a theme park. It was going to be an actual city where people lived. Now, the difference between this city and every other is that it would use the technologies, the advanced technologies from companies around the world. Walt had an idea that he wanted the city to be an example to other cities, and show how we could function and how we could progress with access to these technologies on a daily basis. Very cool idea, very cool. Obviously, that did not come to light. Walt did pass before he was able to implement his idea, but in honoring his concept, the Walt Disney Company did decide to go ahead and open a theme park and call it Epcot. And what is there is a bit different from Walt's original idea, but it does pay homage to him, so it's pretty cool. So here's the deal with Epcot. Epcot actually has 2 different worlds in it. It's a bit different than the other parks in that way. It's broken up a little bit simpler than most of the other parks. Basically, when you enter Epcot, you're entering Future World. After you leave Future World and you cross the bridge, you're crossing the bridge into World Showcase, which is really cool. World Showcase is my favorite part of Epcot. I used to go to World Showcase when I lived in Orlando and just walk laps because I needed to get outside and I just wanted to get some exercise, and so I would walk laps around World Showcase, which probably seemed kind of silly, but I did it because it was Disney and I had fun. So here's the deal. Going counterclockwise, when you enter World Showcase, first of all, you're going to get to the Canada Pavilion. Now, most of these pavilions do not have rides. They all have a shop and they all have some kind of place to eat. What I love about the countries or the pavilions is walking around within them and just kind of wandering around and looking at, the architecture, because I just think it's so interesting how Disney has represented these countries, and it's just really neat. For example, with Canada, Butchart Gardens is represented, so you kind of get a little mini representation of that. And there's like a massive waterfall. Also, you can meet characters in all of the different countries as well. So for Canada, you can meet Kenai from Brother Bear and Coda from Brother Bear as well. So it's kind of neat. It's pretty cute. After you leave, there is a 360-degree show as well in Canada, of Canada. So it's kind of a neat experience. I don't know when the last time those movies were updated. There's one in China as well. And I just watched the China one not that long ago, and that hadn't been updated in quite a while, so I'm assuming Canada has not been updated either. But it's a neat experience if you haven't seen them before, and it's a good way to kind of get out of the heat to do those shows. They are standing room only though, so you don't get to sit. So you're not going to get off your feet, but you do get out of the heat, so that's good. After Canada, you're going to end up at the UK pavilion, the United Kingdom pavilion. And again, you know, they've got little shops. They've got the Rose and Crown. It's like a restaurant and bar. But it's really cute just to wander around. And there you can meet like Mary Poppins. I think Alice from Alice in Wonderland is also there. So pretty cute. After you leave the United Kingdom, you actually get to the International Gateway. The International Gateway has a cute little shop down there, but mostly it's just so you can enter and exit the park. It's an alternative entrance, and you would use that if you're staying at one of the resorts that's right out there. Like there's the boardwalk is right out there. I think the yacht club might be one of them. I think there's like 2 or 3 resorts that are kind of right out there that you can walk to, or there's a little boat that you can take to those resorts as well. What's kind of neat about that is, I mean, you don't have to be staying at those resorts to exit and enter that way. We actually took the boat and left the park that way to go to the boardwalk so that we could go to the ESPN restaurant. And that's a really quick and easy way to do it. And then we just took the boat back when we were done. It is a park entrance and exit though. So when you're coming back in, you do have to get your bag checked again, and you do have to scan your pass again. Generally that entrance is a lot less busy than the main entrance, but you do still have to, you know, stand in line and wait to get back into the park if you've left. Beyond the International Gateway, there's another bridge, and you cross that bridge and you end up in France from there. So that's pretty cool. Again, there's a little shop. I think there's 2 restaurants. Well, there's a restaurant and there's a pastry shop kind of a thing. So that's cute. You can actually get little pastries at the shop there, and then they have this little like cute little back alley feeling area, and there's a few tables there. There's not a ton, so sometimes it's hard to get a seat back there, but it's a really cute little place to eat if you can get a table there. So after you leave France, you enter Morocco, and Morocco is really cute. It's got a couple little shops and, you know, a couple different places to eat. They have a stage there, so they have, you know, a band that comes out and plays. Actually, every country does have some form of entertainment. So like with Canada, they have a band there, they have a stage there. Some of it is very informal entertainment. Like for France, they have an entertainer that comes out, and it's kind of interesting. There's I think there was juggling, there was unicycling, there was stacking of chairs and climbing way up on these chairs. I don't know, it was a little bit crazy, and you know, of course you're holding your breath. Oh my gosh, this guy is way up on, you know, however many chairs. So there are forms of entertainment, and you can actually find who's performing in like what country or what area on your Times Guide. And while I'm talking about it, they have a drum group called the Jammers, because they're like janitors, but they jam, and they're really, really good. Last time I saw them, they were performing outside of like where Mission Space is in Future World, but definitely go check them out because they're awesome. They're really, really good. So make sure to check them out while you're there. Okay, back to World Showcase. After Morocco, we go to Japan. Japan, again, has a little shop. They actually have this little area where it's like a little garden, Japanese garden kind of area, and there's a little bridge or 2, and they have koi swimming around, and it's really cute. It's kind of tucked away, but again, if you're wandering around, you know, the country's kind of checking them out, then you're gonna see it. So go through that. It's kind of cute. It's short, it's little, but it's pretty cool. They also have these, and I don't know what they're officially called, but they do have the entertainment at Japan. They're like these drummers, and they're almost like these massive timpani drums, which are just like huge. I'm certain they're not timpani drums, but that's kind of what they're similar to. And they hit them with these huge mallets, and it's really cool. Check that show out. That's really neat. After you leave Japan, you are going to enter the American Adventure, which pays tribute to colonial America. So that's pretty neat. They've got a show there. They have got, let's see, oh my gosh, the Voices of America. You have to see them. Basically, in this pavilion, there is this dome roof kind of area, and it's built so that acoustically it's amplified. I mean, you don't need a microphone. So they have this group of a cappella singers that come out and they sing, and they stand under this dome area, and they don't use any microphones at all, and it just projects their voice. It's so amazing. I mean, it's really, really cool. I mean, first of all, these a cappella singers are so talented. You can, just search them on YouTube, search Voices of America, and you'll hear them. I mean, they're really, really good. After America, we enter Italy. Ooh. Now, Italy, there's not really a ton going on in Italy, quite honestly, which disappoints me, because if I could visit any country outside of America, Italy would be my first choice. So I would love to see it be a little bit more engrossing, I guess. There's a shop there, and there's a restaurant, and I mean, it's cool. I take pictures of it every time I go, but I wish there was a little bit more to it than there is. There's not a ton there, just pretty much the restaurant and the shop. After Italy, we enter Germany, which Germany is pretty cute. They have a store in there. They have a restaurant with a show. It's really cute. You kind of feel like you're walking into Pinocchio's village. They did such a great job on Germany. Not a ton to do there, just pretty much a couple of food places and a shop. But it's fun to kind of wander around, because it's you can appreciate what they've done with it. It's really neat. Now, after Germany, we get to the Outpost, which is just a little like refreshment stand. So that's all that is. After you pass the Outpost, you get to China, and China has a 360 degree video, kind of like Canada does. And they've got actually a pretty big shop in China, which is kind of fun to wander through. A lot of the stuff is actually not that expensive. I mean, it's not like Disney level expensive, so it's kind of fun if you find a little trinket or something that you might want to take home with you. They have some cute stuff there. And then they have a couple of restaurants, and of course you can meet Mulan there, and sometimes Mushu. That's cool. I've met Mushu. Yeah, that was cool. After you leave China, you are going to get to Norway. Now, Norway is one of the 2 pavilions at the World Showcase that actually does have a ride in it, which is really awesome and really exciting. The ride in Norway is actually pretty cool. It's called Maelstrom, and it's a boat ride, and they take you through Norway. It's kind of neat. There's a moment where you're going backwards. There's a little bit of a drop. So it's pretty cute. I mean, it's kind of a quick ride, but it's pretty cute. I think it's worth it to check out. After you leave Norway, you enter the last country of our tour around the world, which is Mexico. Mexico is the second of 2 countries that actually does have a ride, which is really cool. The ride used to not be as fun as it is now. Now it features Donald Duck and the 3 Caballeros. So now it's really cute, and it's basically this little ride where it's a boat ride where you're kind of on a mission to find Donald, because he's wandered off on his own in the wilds of Mexico. So it's really cute. It's kind of, if I were to compare it to another ride, it kind of has, well, it's just a typical, like, your slow kind of boat ride, kind of like It's a Small World, except it doesn't have the song over and over again. And there is one point where it does have the kind of Mary Blair styled dolls, but there's just one point in the ride that has that, and the rest of it does not. So there's a lot of like projections of Donald running around and all the chaos he's creating in Mexico. So it's kind of a fun, cute little ride. And there's also a really cool restaurant in there too, so check that out as well. As far as World Showcase, that's it. That is the end of our journey around the world. As far as other things to do at Epcot, they do not have any parades anymore at Epcot. They used to, but they don't anymore. They do have a fireworks show, which is actually my all-time favorite Disney fireworks show. It's called Illuminations, Reflections of Earth, and they do that at the end of the night, of course. But it's a wonderful, wonderful fireworks show. They actually created this fireworks show for the Millennium Celebration back in 2000. So it's been there for a while, and I'm so excited every time that I go that it's still there, because I absolutely love it. I mean, it's their whole Millennium Celebration at Epcot was meant to be symbolic of the world and everyone in it kind of coming together as one. And instead of a bunch of different races and nationalities, the idea that they were kind of, presenting was that we're all one race. We are one human race. And when you watch Reflections, it's representative of that and that celebration, where, the big globe comes out, and that, of course, is the world. And then as it opens up and you've got the single big flame in the center of it, it's meant to represent everybody coming together as one. So I love it, and the soundtrack is phenomenal. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's actually out of print, so if you can find it, snatch it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this ended up being a little bit of a long video, but there's just so much to talk about with Epcot. If you guys have any comments or questions, as always, leave those below. And you guys, man, have a magical day. We'll see you real soon. I was gonna say, is that the name of one of the stores? I feel like that's the name, but no,